So I hope everyone had a wonderful Gaur Purnim, drinking the nectar of Lord Chaitanya's appearance and pastimes. Because of that, we didn't have a meeting on Tuesday, but the week before, if you remember, on that Saturday, last Saturday, 1 week ago, we had a short, actually it was pretty lengthy. We covered the whole lesson that would have been Tuesdays, along with that Saturday's, discussing the second and third desires of Lord Krishna that couldn't be fulfilled in his role as a cowherd boy dancing with the gopis in Vrindavan. So I prepared a little bit of a review about this third desire, which is to taste the sweetness, to understand the happiness that Radharani feels when she realizes the sweetness of Krishna's love. So let us enter into those texts. Again, this is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila, chapter 4. This is the last of this chapter. Tomorrow, Sunday, we'll go back to the 8th chapter on discussions of Ramananda Rai and Lord Chaitanya to further expand on these topics. So this is a review, texts 185 through 196. There is another wonderful feature of the emotion of the gopis. Its power is beyond the comprehension of the intelligence. When the gopis see Lord Krishna, they derive unbounded bliss, although they have no desire for such pleasure. The gopis taste a pleasure 10 million times greater than the pleasure Lord Krishna derives from seeing them. The gopis have no inclination for their own enjoyment, and yet their joy increases. That is indeed a contradiction. For this contradiction, I see only one solution. The joy of the gopis lies in the joy of their beloved, Krishna. When Lord Krishna sees the gopis, his joy increases, and his unparalleled sweetness increases also. The gopis think, Krishna has obtained so much pleasure by seeing me. That thought increases the fullness and beauty of their faces and bodies. The beauty of Lord Krishna increases at the sight of the beauty of the gopis. And the more the gopis see Lord Krishna's beauty, the more their beauty increases. In this way, a competition takes place between them in which no one acknowledges defeat. Krishna, however, derives pleasure from the beauty and good qualities of the gopis. And when the gopis see his pleasure, the joy of the gopis increases. Therefore, we find that the joy of the gopis nourishes the joy of Lord Krishna. For that reason, the fault of lust is not present in their love. And there's a nice verse from Rupa Goswami's Keshavastakam. I worship Lord Keshava. Coming back from the forest of Braj, he is worshipped by the gopis who mount the roofs of their palaces and meet him on the path with 100 manners of dancing glances and gentle smiles. The corners of his eyes wander like large black bees around the gopis' breasts. So this is an indication of love, of the love that exists in Goloka Vrindavan, completely selfless. And we see that love, by its very definition, must be such that the pleasure of the lover is due to the pleasure of the beloved. And we studied also about the Ashraya and Vishaya features and how Lord Chaitanya, or how Krishna, is desiring to understand that love of Srimati Radharani from her point of view. Any other comments or questions on this topic before we proceed? Okay. Sama, do we have another reader?
Yes. Okay. Hare Krishna. I just want to ask you to please send me the Zoom version, which you didn't send me.
It's online. I don't
It's
see it.
online.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
right.
okay. Okay, I'll try to get it. Okay, let's start again. Nice to see everyone here. Please forgive me, I'm a little bit under the weather. Um, let's start today with Mukunda. Would you like to read for us, Mukundaji?
Yes, no problem. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Is it up? I don't.
Yes.
Oh, I don't see it.
Can anyone else not see it? Sama, do you see it?
Yeah, I see it. 2:15
Oh.
is what I see. 2:14. I don't see it on here though.
I see it. It's on my screen.
Okay.
Let's see. I don't see it on my screen. Let me see something.
Look up on your,
Oh, you know what? I moved over from the gallery view and I see it.
right. Okay.
Okay.
Alrighty. So we're starting at 2:14.
Yes.
Among the gopis, Shrimati Radhika is the foremost. She surpasses all in beauty, in good qualities, in good fortune, and above all, in love. Just as Radha is dear to Lord Krishna, so is her bathing place, Radha Kund, is dear to him. She alone is his most beloved of all gopis. This is from the Padma Purana. O Partha, in all the three planetary systems, this earth is especially fortunate, for on earth is the very town of Vrindavan, and there the gopis are especially glorious because among them is my Shrimati Radharani. This is from the Adi Purana. All the other gopis help increase the joy of Krishna's pastimes with Radharani. The gopis act as instruments of their mutual enjoyment. Purport. It is said that the gopis are divided into 5 groups, namely the Sakis, Nitya Sakis, Prana Sakis, Priya Sakis, and Paramaprishta Sakis. All these fair complexion associates of Shrimati Radharani, the queen of Vrindavan Dham, are expert artists in invoking erotic sentiments in Krishna. The Paramaprishta Sakis are 8 in number, and in the ecstatic dealings of Radha, they side sometimes with Krishna and sometimes with Radharani, just to create a situation in which it appears that they favor one against the other. Can we raise it up just a little bit? Okay, that makes the exchange of mellows more palatable.
5.
Radha is the beloved consort of Krishna, and she is the wealth of his life. Without her, the gopis cannot give him pleasure. Lord Krishna, the enemy of Kamsa, left aside all the other gopis during the Rasa dance and took Shrimati Radharani to his heart, for she is the helper of the Lord in realizing the essence of his desires. This is a verse from the Gita Govinda of Jayadev Goswami. Sri Krishna is leaving the Rasa Leela to search for Shrimati Radharani. Jaya. Should we stop there or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Any comment?
Yeah, there's so many beautiful verses and indications, but some in substance wise, of course, this is one of the greatest gifts of our line is the mood of serving Shrimati Radharani. I was there in 1975 during the Chaitanya Charitamrita Marathon, and I remember sometimes when the books would come out, devotees would be standing in the middle of Watseka Boulevard, looking over each other's shoulders to see the copies that had come out and so forth. So it's very interesting that Srila Prabhupada, he translated up to, I think, the 12th chapter of something of 10th canto, but he made sure that the full CC was done because it's so important, because this is the sort of crux of our theology, to have this kind of understanding. So there's many also facts that are mentioned here. It mentions the 5 types of sakis. And Dhruva Prabhu, I sent you those quotes from Jiva Goswami's commentary and everything, explaining the difference between the different sakis and our position that's available in relation. I think I sent that to you.
I don't know.
It's in the
Yeah,
chat.
he did. I saw it online on the
Yeah,
forum.
so that was the evidence
On the
is
forum,
for.
right.
Yeah, that's the evidence is for
So-
what position can be obtained by those who are doing sadhana in this world. And then in Srila Prabhupada's purport, he explains that we asked the question about the Rishi Chari Gopis and the personified Vedas. And according to Padma Puran, they are actually a special category. And I actually went and looked further. I don't want to prolong things here, but actually it describes Rishi Charis were formerly the Agni Putras. They were the sons of Agni, who were cursed, and then they came to Dandakaranya and they saw Ram. Yeah.
So sometimes curse not so bad.
Yeah, like Manigriva and Nalakuvera.
Ah, right, right.
Good.
Just to summarize what you just read there, the point being made is that amongst the gopis, because previously we've been reading about the pleasure more or less of the group as a group. When Krishna sees the gopis, his pleasure increases, their pleasure increases. But what you just read is where Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is more narrowing it down to Srimati Radharani is the foremost amongst all the gopis. And now he's starting to zero in on her particular mood and bhava and why Krishna desired to experience that.
Yeah. Also, remember, all the gopis are Kaya Vyuha of Radhika.
Right.
Really, it's her herself expanded into so many different forms.
What we were talking about it this morning, interesting concept. It said that one must go through Srimati Radharani or, Dasan or Dasan or Das. We go through our guru, go through the whole parampara, Lord Nityananda. But yet in Goloka Vrindavan, especially let's say in Dwarka, because it's an easy example to understand the sentiment, none of the gopis, none of the queens of Krishna are thinking that I have to go through Srimati Radharani to love my husband.
But they have to go through the pleasure potency.
Yeah,
What do
this
you
is why Rupa Goswami wrote Lalit Madhav.
Yes. Right.
Yeah, there's a very deep thing. The Vivdagda Madhav and Lalit Madhav are to give explanation about, because the queens are actually Vaibhav, Prakash of Radha and the gopis.
Yes. Right. Right. But even the other gopis, although they know Srimati Radharani, especially Chandravali, sometimes it's actually revealed she appreciates Radharani's position. But just for rasa, it couldn't be that they have to always consider their situation in relationship with her, somehow subordinate.
No.
That wouldn't make sense.
Chandravali considers herself fully equal, if not better.
Yes. Yes, it has to be so.
For us,
Yes, definitely.
The pleasure potency, the thing is that one cannot ignore the pleasure potency. There's three potencies, the Satchitananda. So the pleasure, and they're all considered one actually in Krishna. He doesn't go anywhere without them. It's within him. So the pleasure potency has to be, in order to attain devotional service, a scientific platform, you have to go through the pleasure potency. The most esoteric topic in the whole everything. My goodness.
Yeah, from the point of view of what's called Tattvagata Vichar, actually they're all expansions of Radhika, but in the rasa, as your husband is saying, to make the rasa
of course,
Bahukoti Vina Nahi, Raserulas, there has to be different moods and everything to make it come out. The only time they all come together in one is when they're feeling separation. But while Krishna is present, the competitive mood is there, and that enhances the rasa actually.
Inconceivable. Hare Krishna. Okay, shall we go on? I couldn't. I don't have the Zoom edition, so I'm just gonna wing it here. Thakur, would you? Thank you, Mukundaji, for that discussion and the reading. Thakur, would you like to read?
Yeah, Krishna, nice to have you guys back. Hope you enjoy the Gaura Purnima and the
Hare
other
Krishna.
festivities. Okay, so text 220?
Yeah, 220.
Okay, so Lord Chaitanya appeared with the sentiment of Radha. He preached the Dharma of this age, the chanting of the holy name and the pure love of God. In the mood of Srimati Radharani, he also fulfilled his own desires. This is the principal reason for his appearance. Lord Sri Krishna, Chaitanya is Krishna, Dada Brajendra Kumara, the embodiment of rasas, is amorous love personified. He made his appearance to taste that conjugal mellow and incidentally to broadcast all the rasas. My dear friends, just see how Sri Krishna is enjoying the season of spring. With the gopis embracing each of his limbs, he is like amorous love personified. With his transcendental pastimes, he enlivens all the gopis and the entire creation with his soft bluish black arms and legs, which resemble blue lotus flowers. He has created a festival for Cupid Jayadev Goswami's Gita Govinda 1.11. Lord Shri Krishna Chaitanya is the abode of rasa. He himself tasted the sweetness of his rasa in endless ways. Thus he initiated the Dharma of the age of Kali. The devotees of Lord Chaitanya know all these truths. And the purport: Lord Chaitanya is Sri Krishna himself, the absolute enjoyer of the love of the gopis. He himself assumes the role of the gopis to taste the predominated happiness of transcendental mellows. He appeared in that mode, but simultaneously he propagated the religious process for this age. Most fascinatingly, only the confidential devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can understand this transcendental secret.
Wow.
Wow.
Without that, what is that transcendental secret? How can we understand that? How can we enter into such a thing?
By the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and the Parampara,
Yeah, that would be the truth there. How else
yes,
could we understand these things? Do you
yes.
have anything to say, Thakur?
Yeah, just that he came just to taste, that mood of Shrimati Radharani, but he came to propagate the old name of the Lord and to give love of God, which is very, very sweet.
So wonderful. Thank you.
Yes.
I was noticing as Takamari was reading that just as Mukunda just read about Srimati Radharani, you can see that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's literary technique is to go back and forth between the two, showing how that not only just describing the competitiveness of their qualities, but to enhance our understanding as readers as we go through it. Mukunda just read about how Radharani is the foremost of the gopis and some of her qualities, and now it's describing the sweetness and beauty of Krishna. So let's see where it goes next. That was what Takamari just read.
Okay. Hare Krishna. How about Manvantara? Would you like to read Manvantara?
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Hari.
Can you see the screen? Can you see 227?
Yes.
Okay.
227 through 228.
Good.
Advaita Acharya, Lord Nityananda, Srivas Pandit, Gadadara Pandit, Sarup Damodar, Murari Gupta, Haridas Thakur, and all the other devotees of Sri Krishna Chaitanya, bowing down with devotion, I hold their lotus feet on my head. I have given a hint of the 6th verse. Now please hear as I read the meaning of that original verse.
This is the verse.
Desiring to understand the glory of Radharani's love, the wonderful qualities in him that she alone relishes through her love, and the happiness she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love, the Supreme Lord Hari, richly endowed with her emotions, appeared from the womb of Srimati Sachi Devi as the moon appeared from the ocean. All these conclusions are unfit to disclose in public, but if they are not disclosed, no one will understand them. Therefore, I shall mention them, revealing only their essence, so that loving devotees will understand them, but fools will not. Anyone who has captured Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda Prabhu in his heart will become blissful by hearing of these transcendental conclusions. All these conclusions are like the newly grown twigs of a mango tree. They are always pleasing to the devotees, who in this way resemble cuckoo birds. The
Camel-like.
Yeah, okay, thanks. The camel-like non-devotees cannot enter into these topics. Therefore, there is special jubilation in my heart. For the fear of them, I do not wish to speak. But if they do not understand, then what will be happier in all the three worlds? Therefore, after offering obeisances to the devotees, for their satisfaction, I shall speak without hesitating.
Very nice. So there's no purport for this, nor the verses coming up.
Mhm.
Does anyone have anything to say about this? I like that thing about the camel-like non-devotees. Why don't you talk about that? It's glorious that they won't understand. What is that?
Yeah, so am I a camel-like devotee?
I must be one too. Hare Krishna. It takes time, I think. Prabhupada said it takes time. But we're on the right path. Anything else? Anyone?
Actually,
Mandan?
regarding that, it reminds me this morning, as you can tell, Samape has a little bit of a cold, a cough. So she took some cough medicine and then she was chanting. And about, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes later, she said, she coughed, she said, it's not working. So the point was you have to wait a little while for the medicine to work. And similarly, what we're trying to do in this human form of life is to transfer ourselves out of this dark, miserable existence to the ever blissful, all spiritual world. This is not a task that's simply take a pill, push a button, get a result experience. It takes lifetimes, or it takes a lot of mercy from somebody to bestow it on someone else. But the example is given that these topics are like medicine. And by hearing it, just coming in contact with this spiritual sound vibration, especially these topics, act like a balm, act like medicine on the heart of the jiva, and awaken that which lies dormant in everyone's heart. This is the experience in Kali Yuga, especially due to Lord Chaitanya's divine mercy. Namo Mahavadanaya, Krishna Prema Padayate. One can attain Krishna Prema simply by this process of hearing and chanting glory's pastimes, Krishna's pastimes. But it takes a little time.
Yeah, it's fine. Thank you. Nanda?
Hare Krishna. And the examples that are given were the cuckoo bird who likes to eat the mango buds and the camel-like non-devotees. So when Prabhupada explains those two examples, like for the camel, he's eating thorny twigs which are piercing his tongue, so he's actually enjoying the taste of his own blood. So that's like a materialist, but the desire is okay, wait. But he's enjoying the taste of his own blood. The point is that he wants to enjoy. The cuckoo birds eating the mango twigs in the buds, and they're so sweet and they're tasty, and the cuckoo bird wants to enjoy also. So for the devotee and the non-devotee, both classes of personalities want to enjoy.
But
Non-devotee wants to enjoy, but they're causing their own suffering because they don't know what the real enjoyment
right.
is in taking pleasure in Krishna's pastimes. It's just an interesting, not clearly mentioned unless you're familiar with those examples.
Yeah, it's also interesting that a camel-like non-devotee, a camel, to be compared to a camel, that he'll go through anything, any kind of pain to enjoy that.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not understanding the cuckoo bird one. It says here, all these conclusions are like newly grown twigs of a mango tree. They are always pleasing to the devotees, who in this way resemble cuckoo birds. What was your example, Nanda?
The cuckoo bird eats those mango buds, and they're sweet and tasty.
Not thorny.
So they're like the mango buds are like the Krishna's pastimes and relations. That's how I understood it. Hopefully, like the mango buds of Krishna's pastimes, and they're getting a sweet actual pleasure from that. Real eternal pleasure, you could say. Whereas the camel who enjoys the taste of his blood, that's where I
Is
went.
not getting that. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
No matter
Right.
But he
how
thinks
hard he
he's getting
tries.
it. That's the
Yeah.
thing is he thinks he's getting it, but
Right.
he's only causing his own harm.
Just like the materialist thinks he's happy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
and what he has to go through to get that little bit of happiness is, I should be so determined to go to Krishna for that. Thank you, Nanda. That was
So somehow or
very
another,
beautiful.
Krishnadas Kaviraj's introduction was indicating that this is something very confidential coming up, not easily understood.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Nandaji. Madan, would you like to read?
I'll give it a try, but I'm not sure how far I'll go.
Okay.
Um,
I don't even know.
Text 238. Once Lord Krishna considered within his heart, everyone says, I am complete bliss, full of all rasas. All the world derives pleasure from me. Is there anyone who can give me pleasure? One who has 100 times more qualities than me could give pleasure to my mind. One more qualified than me is impossible to find in the world, but in Radha alone, I feel the presence of one who can give me pleasure. Although my beauty defeats the beauty of 10 million cupids, although it is unequaled and unsurpassed, and although it gives pleasure to the three worlds, seeing Radharani gives pleasure to my eyes. The vibration of my transcendental flute attracts the three worlds, but my ears are enchanted by the sweet words of Srimati Radharani. Although my body lends fragrance to the entire creation, the scent of Radharani's limbs captivates my mind and heart. Although the entire creation is full of different tastes because of me, I am charmed by the nectarian tastes of the lips of Srimati Radharani. And although my touch is cooler than 10 million moons, I am refreshed by the touch of Srimati Radharani. Thus, although I am the source of happiness for the entire world, the beauty and attributes of Sri Radhika are my life and soul. In this way, my affectionate feelings for Srimati Radharani may be understood, but on analysis, I find them contradictory.
Oh, boy. So that is magnificent. Would you like to comment on that?
Well, Krishna, he's actually also the source of Radharani. It's Krishna's pleasure potency.
Mm-hmm.
So for Krishna to enjoy, he enjoys the Radharani. That's all I can say.
Yeah, she is pure love. She is devotional service. That's why when we talk about the queens and any other expansion of Radharani, she's the pleasure potency. It's an amazing concept.
And the idea of service is there all the time.
Devotional service.
It's the nature of everything. Krishna serves, even though he's Nitya Nityanam, he's the one who's supplying everybody. But the whole idea, people imitate in the material world Krishna, but they serve their senses. And as we were just talking about the camel, it's just samsara they're serving. So this service is where the highest happiness is.
It's interesting. You just said that Krishna serves, but he's giving us everything. That is service based on love. He's giving us everything.
That's
So
appreciation.
can that be thought of as service too?
Well, when I think of that, it always softens my heart in appreciation of how many things Krishna arranges out of love for us. And most of the time, we just, for different people, they consider, well, it's just another day, or it's just anything, just the word just is there. But sometimes I just have one little quick thing. It won't take but a couple seconds. When my daughter, she's now 38, but when she was like 10, Vrindavan would cook for her because she was a picky eater. She's still a picky eater. And she would make sure it was cooked just right and it was prepared just right. It was just the thing and serve it anyway. It was done so nicely. And I'm watching all this because I don't have that capacity the same as she does. So I mentioned it to her that, do you know how much love goes into making your prasadam? And she just, because she was young and a little arrogant as a child, she says, that's just her job. So I kind of took, I don't know if I can't remember anymore if it really happened or if it's just an example.
That's a good example. You take things for granted.
Yeah.
Prabhupada said thank you. He said thank you. We should say thank you. There's a whole tape that Prabhupada gives a lecture, and he actually says thank you. We are not thanking Krishna. We should say thank you. I have to find that. It was beautiful.
It is a nice mantra that connects you in yoga right away to see the whole show and see how Krishna, he never leaves us. He's always in our heart. And he's always doing everything, just like sometimes people say, well, that was God's arrangement, but an insurance company, that if they don't want to pay for something, but everything is God's arrangement. And it's a nice vision to try to develop.
Wonderful. Thank you, Madan. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Pati, should we go on? Ananda, would you like to read?
Yes, ma'am, thank you.
Okay,
Text
okay.
250. My eyes are fully satisfied when I look upon Srimati Radharani, but by looking upon me, she becomes even more advanced in satisfaction. The flute-like murmur of the bamboos rubbing against one another steals Radharani's consciousness, for she thinks it is to be the sound of sorry. For she thinks it to be the sound of my flute, and she embraces a tamal tree, mistaking it for me. I have gotten the embrace of Sri Krishna, she thinks, so now my life is fulfilled. Thus she remains immersed in pleasing Krishna, taking the tree in her arms. When a favorable breeze carries to her the fragrance of my body, she is blinded by love and tries to fly into that breeze. When she tastes the betel chewed by me, she merges into an ocean of joy and forgets everything else. Even with hundreds of miles, I could not express the transcendental pleasure she derives from my association. Seeing the luster of her complexion after our pastimes together, I forget my own identity in happiness. The sage Bharat has said that in the mellows that the sage Bharata has said that the mellows of lover and beloved are equal, but he does not know the mellows of my Vrindavan. The happiness I feel when meeting Radharani is 100 times greater than the happiness I get from meeting others. My dear auspicious Radharani, your body is the source of all beauty. Your red lips are softer than the sense of immortal sweetness. Your face bears the aroma of a lotus flower. Your sweet words defeat the vibrations of the cuckoo, and your limbs are cooler than the pulp of sandalwood. All my transcendental senses are overwhelmed in ecstatic pleasure by tasting you, who are completely decorated by beautiful qualities. Purport. This verse is spoken by Lord Krishna to Radha. This verse spoken by Lord Krishna to Radha is recorded in the Lalita Madhava 933 of Srila Rupa Goswami. And just as I'm stumbling through reading this, I'm thinking, I can't even read what's right there in black and white in front of my eyes properly. And I'm thinking that why can't I love Krishna? in a
Material
higher way?
qualifications have nothing to do with it. That's our
Well,
saving grace.
that's a good point too, but I'm just saying, so full of faults. Hare
Oh,
Krishna.
I want to ask, Patti, did you have something to say? I
Not
want,
right now.
okay, I wanted to ask Nanda, how Radharani, Prabhupada has often said that that Srimati Radharani is the represented by the Guru. You know, she is the Guru. She is the Guru teaching us to love Krishna. Can you explain that? Is that right? What I said?
I don't recall hearing that, but I'm not saying that it's not right. You know what I mean? I don't recall hearing it that directly. So perhaps someone else who's more astute
Okay,
could
well,
comment on it.
well, he said that, and he said Nityananda. She represents that the Guru is a representative of Nityananda and of Srimati Radharani. That's
Well,
what.
you know, although just hearing what you're saying now and just on this little thinking about it for a very few seconds, but you see how that love of the guru, the guru's repeated instructions, the guru's guiding grace, the guru, it's actually because he's wanting whoever it is, the disciple, the jiva, to take up his real position, and therefore he's lovingly, you know, how Prabhupada would say, uh, using up hundreds of gallons of blood to make a
No,
devotee, to
right,
convince a person to become a devotee. You know, he's
right.
willing to go to that such extent, and that's you know, perhaps we're thinking of love in a romantic way, but in this case, it's actually that you know, knowing best what's going to make the person happy, et cetera, even though it might be a little difficult in the beginning.
Yeah, that's very true. Very, very true.
I heard an explanation by this wonderful devotee, an elderly Mataji that lives in Mayapur, and she said that Lord Nityananda is the guru for you to approach Lord Chaitanya in service. And once it comes to the Raganuga platform, then that's when Radharani is the guru for Krishna, because she was saying, I'm just repeating it, so maybe get some comments on it, but I had never heard it before, is that with Lord Chaitanya, the rasas are up to servitorship for us, that we serve Lord Nityananda to come to understand Lord Chaitanya, and by understanding Lord Chaitanya, then we can approach Krishna.
Yes, true. That's true. Our relationship with Lord Chaitanya is definitely one of servitor. No, that's the rasas are not displayed other than Dasya Ras in relation to Lord Chaitanya. Thank you, Madan. Okay, shall we?
Yeah, we can continue on, but I just want to keep the thread and understand how they're being woven together. That first of all, we read about the glories of Srimati Radharani, first the gopis, then Radha, then Krishna, and now Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is revealing the glories of Srimati Radharani through the eyes of Krishna. He wants to understand her glories and the glories of her love, and therefore the glories of her love are being described. Let's take a look again at some of these verses. When Nanda was reading them, they were like bouncing. Sometimes it just kind of flies by because we're familiar with them, or because it's. But these are actually, they could be meditative verses in themselves. The flute-like murmur of a bamboos rubbing against another steals Radharani's consciousness. In other words, you know, around Vrindavan, a lot of the times you'll hear the whoosh of breezes blowing through bamboos and different trees. She thinks it to be the sound of my flute, and she embraces a tamal tree, mistaking it for me. These are not ordinary examples of love. Somebody said something?
No. Go on.
They're super elevated expressions. And we know that later on, in the mood of Srimati Radharani, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited similar intense feelings of separation from Krishna, such that his whole body would transform into something. The Astasatvika bhavas would manifest. So it takes a little bit of insight to try and mine these experiences rather than just quick verses going through them, since there's no
Very
purports.
wonderful. True. First Nanda, and then Mukunda has something to say. Nandaji?
Thank you, Prabhu, for highlighting that verse about her hearing the bamboo and then embracing a tamal tree. Because as I was reading it, it flashed through my mind that if it was a slight remembrance, we could say, it was a little remembrance of Krishna's flute. Then she heard his flute, and then she embraced a tamal tree. Now, there's nothing soft and comfortable about a tree bark. So if it was a slight remembrance, then that shock of embracing that rough tree bark would have like broken the meditation, but it enhanced her meditation because she was so deeply absorbed.
Nice point.
That is good. Thank you. Mukunda?
Yeah, actually, when you become familiar a little bit with the writings in Udalimani, then this is descriptions of different stages of love. Love goes to different stages. So these are descriptions of Ruda and Adirud Mahabhav. That's what's being described. So the descriptions that Krishna is mentioning about her are things that appear in Mahabhav. And it's gradually growing because Radhika's highest state of Mahabhav is unique only to her. It's called Madanakya Mahabhav. So,
In other words, no one can attain that kind of love except her.
And
She's
Krishna's attempt to do it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Yes, and he does it. That's the only way he can do it is through Lord Chaitanya.
But the object here is that our goal is service to that love, because there are many devotees in Braj, which is why Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami made the statement, I'm speaking these things, they're very confidential, but I know those who are mudha, because we have to remember that in Braj, even at the time of our Goswamis, there are many people who want to be Krishna, want to merge into Krishna, want to be in the position of Krishna, so many different things. So he was saying that there are many who don't understand the actual theology coming from Mahaprabhu. So our worshipable objective, according to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, is the prem of Radha and Krishna. Not just their darshan, it's the prem, to serve that kind of love in a particular mood is the goal of our theology.
Selfless, totally selfless.
One of the beautiful features of Brihat Bhagavatamrita at the end of the book is that Gopakumar reveals to the South Indian Brahmin who he came and met at Vamsivat that actually this morning Srimati Radharani instructed me to come here and to bring you back, to get you back to Goloka Vrindavan, because your presence will enhance the purports. And the whole story was that every single entity being part and parcel of Krishna has something to do with every other part, and their presence is something unique. So especially in our line, as you often mention, of serving Radha and Krishna have their love, which is enhanced by the gopis, by the associates of the gopis, by the manjaris, by the other, even by the cowherd boys sometimes. So the whole thing is an all-inclusive, wonderful festival of love going on in that spiritual world.
Yeah, actually also their love. I mean, Mother, if Krishna had no mother and father, no friend.
Impersonal.
Yeah, it would be, I mean, also it wouldn't be like, where would he just manifest out of nowhere or something? So all the different elements, the trees, every single thing in Vrindavan is supportive of prem. Yeah, and they're necessary. You can't say, well, okay, we really only need Radha and Krishna.
Very good.
No, you can't.
No, exactly.
They don't come by themselves.
Yeah, no, you need the whole Vrindavan, everything, especially in our Sampradaya, like in Nimbarka Sampradaya, they don't have the idea of meeting in separation, Krishna going to Nandagam. They don't do that. They have what's called Nityamilan Seva. and so forth. But they're not wrong. Also, this is their mood, and that's Sampradaya. But
There's no separation. They don't feel separation.
no, it's called
How could-
Nitya Milan Seva.
God, I'd like to. Maybe I'll become one of them. I'm always feeling separation.
You're very lucky. You came in the line of
Hare
Mahaprabhu. which is Prabhupada.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
So their meditations, their sevas, their perfection is to serve Radha and Krishna, who are always together.
Yes, they consider
I
that
see.
there's one huge kunj,
Uh-huh.
and throughout 8 periods of the day in different sections of the kunj, they serve, and they're called Sachari Gopis. They don't divide themselves into Nitya, Sakhi, Pran Sakhi, all of that.
They're all the same.
They're just
One big group.
servants. Yeah, one group called Sachari Gopis, like friends of Radhika who serve her.
I see.
And they serve throughout 8 periods a day. There's no going to Yavat, Abasan, and Nandagang. They don't, that's in their perfection, this is their mood.
That's good. That's
Because I've looked that up several times. And where'd you find that? There are not a lot of writings on Nimbarkis.
There's a lot of literature, but also in Pennsylvania, there's a Nimbarka temple
Huh.
and everything. So yeah, you speak to some of the Pandits.
Okay,
There's also a
talking with them.
Mark temple just here in near going towards Ocala. So those who follow
Right.
Vallabhacharya. So I've spoken
Yeah,
with them.
that I know. Those I spent time
Yeah.
with. But
Yeah.
Nimbarkis are a little more
Yeah.
less organized
okay.
in their propagation.
Okay.
Right.
Well, somehow the message is getting out. Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya. Okay, let's go on. Sudha Sindhu, how are you today, my dear? Would you like to read? Sudha Sindhu?
Yes,
Hare
I
Krishna.
would like to read Hare Krishna.
So it's
That's
160. Yeah, 160.
260.
260.
Yeah.
What about
Her eyes-
261? Well, maybe I'm in
Come.
the wrong place again. Okay, sorry. Go on. Go on,
260.
sweetie. Yeah.
Yeah. Her eyes are enchanted by the beauty of Lord Krishna, the enemy of Kamsa. Her body thrills in pleasure at his touch. Her ears are always attracted to his sweet voice. Her nostrils are enchanted by his fragrance, and her tongue hankers for the nectar of his soft lips. She hangs down her lotus-like face, exercising self-control only by pretense, but she cannot help showing the external signs of her spontaneous love for Lord Krishna. Purport. Thus, Srila Rupa Goswami describes the containers of Radharani. Considering this, I can understand that some unknown marrow in me controls the entire existence of my captivator, Srimati Radharani. I'm always eager to taste the joy that Radharani derives from me. In spite of various efforts, I have not been able to taste it, but my desire to relish that pleasure increases as I smell its sweetness. Formerly, I appeared in the world to taste mellows, and I tasted the mellows of pure love in various ways. I taught devotional service that springs from the devotee's spontaneous love by demonstrating it with my pastime. But these 3 desires of mine were not satisfied, while one cannot enjoy them in a contrary position. Unless I accept the luster of the aesthetic love of Sri Radhika, these 3 desires cannot be fulfilled. Therefore, assuming Radharani's sentiments and bodily complexion, I shall descend to fulfill these 3 desires. In this way, Lord Krishna came to a decision. Simultaneously, the time came for the incarnation of the age.
Okay. Aren't we lucky that we're here at this time? Well, can you say something about the incarnation of the age?
Incarnation of the age
Yes.
is chanting the holy name, the
What's the incarnation of the age? Do you know?
chanting of the holy name.
That's also there. But Lord Chaitanya is the incarnation of this age, and he came to give also the incarnation, which is the holy name. But it's considered to be that the Lord Chaitanya is the incarnation of the age. And this is this whole Chaitanya Charitamrita is to help us to understand this deep love that we're capable of if we follow a process. Okay? Patsy, would you like to say something else about that?
Just to clarify it a little bit, it sounds like there might be a little confusion or whatever. These verses are being spoken by Krishna, saying that I'm always eager to taste the joy that Radharani derives from me. In spite of my various efforts, I've not been able to taste it, but my desire to relish that pleasure increases as I smell its sweetness. And he's explaining, formerly I appeared in the world and tasted the mellows, and I tasted the mellows of pure love in various ways. These was his pastimes when he was on earth in Vrindavan, that we read like in Krishna book and Srimad Bhagavatam. But even while performing these activities and leelas, there were desires of his that were not fulfilled. And that's what's being brought out in this particular section of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. That as Krishna, the cowherd boy, he couldn't possibly understand and experience the love of others' love for him. So therefore, he took their position in order to understand himself.
That's a perfect explanation. Can you understand that, Sudha Sindhu? That the Lord came as a devotee to understand the position of a devotee. And Srimati Radharani is actually the greatest of all devotees. Does
Yes.
that make sense a little?
Yes. Yes.
Good.
Could I ask
Mukundaji?
Could I
yeah,
ask a question?
One moment, Madan. Mukunda?
Yeah, also in that verse it says he tasted the mellows. It also means all the other pastimes like Ram, Nrsimha.
Okay.
He
Oh.
tasted
Oh,
Ram,
I see.
all those pastimes, even up to the point of the pastimes of Krishna, but he was unable to fulfill that desire.
Oh, good.
Knowing what is, yeah.
That's a very nice explanation. Madan?
I was wondering when Krishna, during the Brahma Leela, when he expanded himself into all the cowherd boys that were playing with Krishna, if that was something similar. Is there anything written about that? Because
Similar in what way?
What?
he became the
Right.
cowherd boys,
Mhm.
and he was experiencing the cowherd boy
Oh.
rasa with Krishna. So not the Madhurya rasa, but the cowherd boy rasa. So it was Krishna enjoying Krishna.
I never heard of it like that, but
Me either. That's why it just
Patsy,
popped
what do
into
you
my
think
mind.
about that?
The way it's described, it's not that he took the moods. He mirrored the moods of the cowherd boys, from my understanding.
Good. Yeah, that's
rather
good.
than actually absorbing himself in those moods of each one. So
But he had to have if he was becoming them in relating to everybody around him.
They were expansions of him to be not in the mood of cowherd boys, but of course he acted as the cowherd boys, but didn't completely absorb himself in their moods. I never read anything about that.
Yeah, I never did anything.
And it was more of an experience. Well, I don't know.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it just popped into my mind that
Sure.
there seem to be some similarities, but I'm not so well read.
That's a different thing. Mukunda, you got something?
Yeah, so he created a whole nother, it's called a prakosh or prakash. It's like a alternate chamber. Because at the same time, the original cowherd boys were still taking their picnic. And it mentions when Krishna came back after 1 year, they thought he was only gone for a few minutes.
Moment. Yeah.
So what he did is exactly what Dhruva Maharaj said. He by expanding, he mirrored them. But it was different, obviously, because their parents were more extremely attracted to their own sons now than they were to Krishna. And you remember in the end, the elder cows normally are attracted to the newer calf, right? But they were suddenly attracted because he also expanded as all the calves and all of that also. So they were suddenly attracted to the older calves. And Balaram was the one who thought, this is weird. Something is strange because this doesn't happen. That's when he started to figure out that Krishna had manifested himself. You read in the commentaries, it says it took Balaram 1 year to figure out what was going on because there were so many strange things. So what Dhruva Prabhu told, that Krishna mirrored them, but he was still Krishna, and that's why everybody was attracted to him.
Yeah, it's very special. This the Lord had to come as Lord Chaitanya. He had to come as
Prakosh Leela. In other words, Krishna can create Like in Dwarka is the example. When Narada Muni went to one house, Krishna was doing his morning meditation.
Yeah.
Another house, he was taking dinner. This was all Prakash Tattva, means he was going from one Prakosh to another. You understand?
You know, when you said before that he came to experience the other rasas, Mukunda, so Lord Chaitanya also, when he is, we already established and we know that he is in the mood, the devotees are in the Dasya Bhav in relation to Lord Chaitanya. But he experienced other relationships. And so, like, if someone had a relationship with Krishna that was not Madhurya Bhav, but Sakya Bhav, that would be, who is that person? Who is that person in Chaitanya Leela?
In Chaitanya Prabhu's Leela?
Yeah.
In Mahaprabhu's Leela all have Visesh Dasharas. It means
Yeah,
in the
Visesh
mood of
Dasharas.
servitude, in the mood of servitude, they're tasting, regardless of what their swarups were in the previous Leelas.
That's what I'm asking, the
Yeah.
Swarup.
So like Hanuman, for instance, he comes as Murari Gupta. In
Okay.
the mood towards Mahaprabhu, however, he tastes the intensity of Madhurya Rasa. He's not doing
Hanuman?
Rasa. Yeah, so it's explained. There's a verse in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Premaiva Goparamanam, Kamam Ityagamat Pratam, Udava Adayopietan Vajanti Bhagavat Priya. Rupa Goswami is saying when Mahaprabhu came to perform his Leela, he remembers all the devotees from previous incarnations, Jai Vijay, Hanuman, so all those devotees, they all come and go a Leela. He benefits them or benedicts them with the intensity. They don't enter Madhurya Rasa.
No,
they
but
get
the
the intensity of that kind of love in the kirtan in Srivasa's house is considered the Ras Leela for all those
because
devotees.
all the rasas were being manifest.
The high, just like
everybody.
Ras Leela in Krishna's Leela, those devotees from the previous incarnations, they taste the intensity of that love in the kirtan ras in the courtyard of Srivas. This is Krishna's special gift to them. That's why he says, Prem Rasniyas Karite Ashwadan, Rag Mag Bhakti Loke Karite Prachan. He gave to all the Bhakta Lok the intensity of the highest kind of love in the speciality of their mood of dasata.
Oh, that's beautiful explanation. Good.
Well, it's written. I didn't come up with it.
Okay, I know you didn't come up with it. But anyways, tonight is perfect. That's what I was wondering. All right, we have one more verse left. I was going to ask Manvantara, would you like to read it? One more section.
Yes.
Okay,
Text 270. At that time, Sri Adwaita was earnestly worshiping him. Adwaita attracted him with his loud calls. First, Lord Krishna made his parents and elders appear. Then Krishna himself, with the sentiment and complexion of Radhika, appeared in Navadvip like the full moon from the womb of Mother Sachi, which is like an ocean of pure milk. Meditating on the lotus feet of Sri Rupa Goswami, I have thus explained the 6th verse. I can support the explanation of these two verses, verses 5 and 6 of the first chapter, with a verse by Sri Rupa Goswami. Lord Krishna desired to taste the limitless nectarine mellows of the love possessed by one of his multitude of loving dasmils, Sri Radha, and so he has assumed the form of Lord Chaitanya. He has tasted that love while hiding his own dark complexion with her effulgent yellow color. May that Lord Chaitanya confer upon us his grace. Purport. This is the 3rd verse of the 2nd Chaitanyastika of Sri Rupa Goswami's Stava Mala. Thus, the auspicious invocation, the essential nature of the truth of Lord Chaitanya, and the need for his appearance has been set forth in 6 verses. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishna Das, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps.
Wow, isn't that wonderful?
Mm-hmm.
What did you get out of this? What did you get out of this chapter?
Wow. Just the love Lord Shri Krishna has for Srimati Radharani is internal potency. And it's just bewildering. I mean, it's like Sri Bhagavana Vacha. I mean, he said the love, he basically, it's the best poem I've ever read, I've ever heard.
Yeah, it is.
Where was it? Text 244. No,
Text
no, no. No, it
244.
was text 259.
Okay.
Sri Bhagavan, he's just just saying how much he loves Radharani, that affection that he has for her. And it's not
Wow.
just her, it's like it's us. Like he has it for us too, but it's just like this is the cream of the crop of the love, you know?
Yeah. She
It's
is the
just
pleasure potency.
intensive. Yeah.
She is the pleasure. We cannot love Krishna without Radharani. She
Yeah.
is the potency of love. She is devotional service. She's not eternity because there's eternity, bliss, and knowledge. She is in charge of all of the
Right.
love of Krishna.
Right.
Wonderful. Okay. Does anyone else have something to add to this nectar at this point? Patti?
Just a little thought
Oh, yes, Nandaji.
that Manvantara just sparked in me when she was saying about how Srimati Radharani loves all of us. So in the Nectar Devotion, Srila Prabhupada's explaining there, he's summarizing that just for the conditioned jiva to enter the threshold of the door of bhakti, just by entering, just by taking up the beginning parts of devotional service, we're under the protection of the Ladini Shakti, Srimati Radharani.
Aye,
Her
how
protection.
lovely.
So I thought it was appropriate.
That's a
for that
great
spot.
one, Nandaji. Thank you. Beautiful. Okay, Patti, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to give a little indication about how the whole kind of stepping back now and giving a bird's eye view of all our studies. We spent the several months studying the 5 chapters of the Rasa Lila and branched off a little bit, like the one time during the water pastimes, Lord Chaitanya's meditation on the water pastime in Puri, where he fell into the ocean and was taken away, and then his revelation of deeper explanations of that pastime were included. And then we just studied this whole chapter 4 about the interactions between Radha and Krishna to better understand the love of the gopis and what's going on at the rasa dance. So the next lesson, I just want to explain a little bit about where we're going with it. You may remember part of what we talked about previously when Radharani left the rasa dance. And and Krishna also left the rasa dance. The whole thing kind of stopped at that point as he went looking in the forest for her. Ramananda Roy had expressed a verse from Jayadev Goswami pointing out that this proves Radharani's the greatest of all the gopis, because although he was amongst all the other ones, because she left, he could no longer find happiness in the rasa dance. So therefore, there's the glory of Radharani's love. And if you remember, Ramananda Roy and Lord Chaitanya were speaking about what is the goal of life and how do you attain it. And he started off with Varnashram Dharma, went up to Dasya Bhav, Sakya Bhav, Vatsalya Bhav, Madhurya Bhav, and then finally he was speaking about conjugal affairs and love of Radha and Krishna. And he spoke one of his own verses from his book Prema Vilasa Vivarta. At that time, Lord Chaitanya became very pleased with him. And now what we'll do is we'll pick up from the end of that conversation with the next explanation, and this is why. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, let me get this into the...
Patti, you want to say the verse?
I'm going to, that's what I'm pulling
good.
up here, so that it's clearer. Just got to adjust my screen a little bit. All right. Come on. Okay. Here. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu confirmed these verses, which were spoken by Ramananda Rai, saying, "This is the limit of the goal of human life. Only by your mercy have I come to understand it conclusively. The goal of light cannot be achieved unless one practices the process. Now being merciful upon me, please explain that means by which this goal can be attained." That caught my attention. So the question is, what is the process and what is the goal and how to attain it? So we'll go into that section of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Tomorrow I'll post that beginning of that lesson. In other words, we read about it. We're being invited into it, just like Nanda just expressed. We've actually been invited to participate in the love of Radha and Krishna. At this point in our evolution, a little more mature than we were when we first started. What is the next step in that process? How to follow and how to nurture our bhakti latas so that the heart becomes even softer and even more leaves and flowers grow.
Very
So
good.
we'll be reading.
And fruits of love of God.
Mukunda?
Mukunda.
Yes, I just wanted to give the verse that we had quoted earlier, the Prema. So it appears in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1-2-285, but it's also in Chaitanya Charitamrita in Madhya Lila 8-16. So that's probably a quicker reference. It's going to be Madhya Lila 8, text 216.
Well, hold it 1 second, Mukunda. I got that right here, since that's the page I was on.
Oh,
You can read it. 216, you said?
Yeah, Premnaiva Goparamanam, coming to this verse, yeah.
Let me,
Where's it?
it's 16.
218. Yep, that's the
Yeah,
verse.
that's the verse.
It says, although the dealings of the gopis with, I'll read it from here because I can't see the bottom there. Let me put my hand emoji thing. Oh, there we go. Although the dealings of the gopis with Krishna on the platform of pure love of Godhead, such dealings are sometimes considered to be lusty. But because they are completely spiritual, Uddhav and all other dearmost devotees of the Lord desire to participate in them.
Wow.
Then Rupa Goswami describes in his commentary on it that therefore Mahaprabhu's Leela opens the door for all the pure devotees from previous incarnations. They're not bereft of anything. And also Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Harinam Chintamani mentions it. All those devotees come and go Leela. They taste the intensity of the highest love and the speciality of their mood of dasa towards Mahaprabhu.
Nice.
They participate in the Ras Leela, in the Kirtan, in the courtyard of Srivas. So, and then Mahaprabhu proves to them that actually he is the Ishtadev they worship when he does the 21-hour performance.
Wonderful.
and he explains how each one, you worship me like this.
You with this one, yeah.
And he
you
shows
with
it, he'll show you that form.
Yes.
What do we have to do to get into there? Hide in a basket? How about that
That
basket?
didn't work out for Srivas's
That didn't
mother-in-law.
work. But she's smart.
Another point on that particular verse where it says that it's considered to be lusty, but because they're completely spiritual, Uddhava and other devotees
Exactly.
also desire it. The point is that Uddhava wouldn't desire something that's lusty.
Exactly.
That's why his example was so pristine. It's he's used as the person that appreciated their love, not because it was lusty.
And one more thing, just in reference also, supported by what Mukunda said, the residents of Braj, all of the residents of Braj are considered to be on this platform of spontaneity in their prema. They're all always used as examples of the topmost kind of love. So it's just in Jaiva, Gopala Temple also always reference to the love. Everyone's just going to be happy if Krishna's happy. The happiness of, we read that verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. The happiness of the lover is the happiness of the beloved. So if Krishna's happy, that's all they want. Even when they went to Kurukshetra, they just wanted to know Krishna was happy, even they were, feeling separation. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Okay, Madan.
Just one point Dhruva, you said it now twice that tomorrow we'll have the next class. I thought it was Tuesday. Did anything change?
We always post lessons
Oh,
on Wednesdays
okay.
and Sundays, and then have reviews. These are all reviews. Not everything that we're having in our Zoom courses, Zoom meetings, is there's more in the course texts and purports than there are in this. And this is a shortened version. This is
Okay.
what we
It's
do.
really
Yeah.
nectar to read them because then you meditating on it and you can participate nicely.
I've been figuring it out. Or Dhruva
Yeah.
helped me yesterday. All right.
Good.
So
Thank you.
every Sunday morning, I send out an email with a link to texts and purports, and people can read it Sunday and Monday. And then Tuesday we have our review. Then Wednesday I sent out another one. Then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday they can read it, and Saturday we review it. So,
Okay, yeah, I'm catching up.
right.
Srila Prabhupada also be very merciful to you and your good wife for doing this.
Oh, hope
Many
so.
devotees
you.
don't have access
Right.
to this, and unfortunately, this is what Srila Prabhupada came to give, and just
It's a process. It's a process. But I'm glad also to have this Sangha. And it's
Yeah.
Yes,
very,
we're very
very
appreciative.
special. Very,
Hopefully,
very
people will
special.
look at it or get some whiff of it, and try to reproduce it in different things,
Or maybe even join it. But
or join it.
thank you all very much for your association. Are we finished, Patti?
Yes, I think so.
Oh, Madame, your hand is still up. Is that from before? Okay. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha, Kripasindehi, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Jai, glory to Srila Prabhupada. Hari Bol.
Good day.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.